friends. It's another cold December day out here on the farm in central New Hampshire, Zone 5B. I'm out here with the chickens. I thought I'd do a quick chicken video today. Since my last video, which was early December, December 2nd, I believe, when we had our first big heavy snow of the season, winter has not stopped. It has been brutally cold, and the snow that I thought was going to melt away hasn't moved, and we've actually been adding to it. So winter, hopefully you can't hear the noise in the background, but my husband has chosen this moment to scrape the driveway with the tractor. So he's going back and forth behind the camera. Anyway, winter has come fast and hard this year, and I was not prepared. It's just, normally we have a couple of weeks in December where it's manageable to come outside and do some work, but it has just been so brutally cold, 10 to 20 degrees below normal, and today we had snow all morning, and so I thought I'd come out and do a quick chicken video, update you on where these girls are, and yeah, show you what I've done this year that's a little bit different than what I've done in previous years. But my first order of business, now that it's stopped snowing and the sun is trying to come out, is to knock the snow off this hoop house. And the chickens are not going to like it, but it's a necessary evil. So let me do that, and then we'll give them some treats and we'll talk more chicken. Okay, cleaned off the hoop house, and I gave them a little treat of some old greens that we had, which they very much appreciate this time of year when there's nothing green available to them. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about this setup here, how it's different from what I've done in the past. I do have another video that I made last year on how we set up the mobile chicken tractor, chicken coop, to this hoop house, how we attach it, what I do to wrap the bottom. I'll link that below so that you can watch that. I'm not going to go into detail, all those details this time around, but just sort of a quick overview of what I did slightly differently this year, especially with the coop wrapping. Inside the hoop house here, not much is different this year. Same feeders, waterers, sawhorses, and little perches for them to mess around with. We started out with a huge load of leaves, mainly oak leaves from the edge of the woods there, that were piling up pretty heavy this year. We dragged all of them in here, which helped start the deep bedding that we usually keep in this hoop house. We've had to start putting some wood shavings in already, but the leaves have actually, thus far, they've been in here probably 3 weeks or so, have really kept the smell down and seem to be doing their job. So Yeah, so over the course of the winter we'll keep dumping in shavings. Occasionally I'll get a bale of straw or a bale of hay and throw that in there for them to mess around with, especially the hay. They love messing around with bales of hay, scratching through it and picking out all the seeds and bugs and stuff. So, but the majority of the bedding is pine shavings. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to take you around to the side of the hoop house where it connects to the coop and show you what I did differently this year. It's only the middle of December and already the snow is starting to pile up along the edge of the hoop house. We haven't had to shovel it yet, but if we get another snowstorm, we're going to be shoveling this out. It's been a crazy winter this year already. So as we come around to the side of the coop, here's the mobile coop, and here's where it joins with the hoop house, this piece of plastic here. Actually, two pieces of plastic. I have one continuous piece of plastic that goes up and over on both sides and comes down a couple feet above the ground. And then there's a second piece that attaches below it, and I attach it on the inside of this piece coming down so that the snow falls on the outside and doesn't go into the hoop house. But that makes it all nice and snug. Along the bottom here we have the plastic wrapped fence panels, and in the previous video, or the video that I'll attach below, I'll show you how I wrapped these and the reason behind this. In past years I've just started the end of this somewhere up here, and I don't know why I did it. And so what would happen is it would end right here at the end of the coop. And so around the back, I would just shove hay bales in here. But there was always a gap that snow got into on this corner here. And I tried to shove bits of hay bales and the chickens would pull them out, and I'd do plywood, and it was just really kind of messy. So this year I moved the fencing down so that I could wrap the fencing around the back corners of the coop. And that way, see it on the other side as well, that way the corners are pretty snug and protected from wind. And then I shoved a hay bale here with a little opening for them to get in and out, because they do come out, although none of them are going to do that right now on camera. They do come out, and especially on a sunny day, they like to kind of hang out here outside. If we get a big snowstorm where it's going to be very windy, I have a piece of plywood up in the barn that I'll just come and prop over this to keep the wind from blowing hard under the coop. I like to leave a little bit of a gap here for airflow from the front of the hoop house through the whole hoop house under the coop and out, back and forth, so that the whole hoop house stays pretty well ventilated and we don't get moisture buildup. If we do get a big storm, I will kind of block this up a little bit so that the birds are warmer, but as soon as the storm stops, I will take the plywood away. So again, we have a little bit of a airflow going between the two. The other thing I did this year is I took a couple of the rock bags from the garden, and you can't see it here because it's covered in snow and actually ice from the roof. But this is one of the rock bags that I use in the market garden to hold down the tarps. I took a couple of them and actually stuffed them in here. There's another one in here somewhere to hold this fence panel down. Last winter, we had a few storms where the winds got crazy and it actually kicked the fencing out from the bottom and twisted it all around. It was a big mess. So I'm hoping that the additional weight of these rock bags will hold everything down. And I've also got some cinder blocks up here at the front of the fence panel and along the connector between the two to hold the plastic down and keep the wind from picking it up and making a mess of it. Now on a day like today when it's windy and really, really cold, I try to close these up these panels up as much as possible to keep the heat in and keep them a little bit warmer, cut the wind down a little bit. But the bottom here is still open, so air can still flow through and keep the smell down and keep the moisture down as well. Oop, got my mask. Oh, it is so cold out here. I think I'm done with this video. I'm gonna do a final egg check. We've got to check eggs pretty frequently when it's this cold to make sure they don't freeze. So I'm gonna do another egg check. We shouldn't have too many. It's late in the afternoon. They're pretty much done for the day, but just to be sure. And then I'm gonna go inside and sit by the wood stove and try to stay warm. Sorry for the quick and just sort of disjointed chicken video today. It's just too cold to do anything functional out here. Please do check out the video I'll link below about how we put all this together. And I think I'll actually also link a video of how we move them from the main pasture out here before we even attach them. So you can all see that. If you haven't watched those before, please do check them out. My mouth is freezing, it's so cold. So yeah, please do check those videos out. Again, thank you for being here today. I do appreciate that you're here, and I'll see you in the next one when hopefully it's a little bit warmer. Bye!